We're a clean energy tech company providing solar solutions to homeowners, businesses and real estate companies.
What was the opportunity in Europe in the solar industry?
The motivation behind Soly already started at a quite young age, when I was 13 and my brother was 16. Inspired by someone from the US, Al Gore, after seeing his documentary An Inconvenient Truth. From that moment on we thought, okay, if we would like to start a career, it should be in the climate change domain. And that's why we decided to start Soly and to make solar energy available to as much people and businesses as possible. When we started, we saw a market that was extremely traditional. So you had like local installers installing solar on people's roof, and the process was extremely traditional and not scalable. So that's something we decided to focus on right away, to make a business that is really providing scalable solar solutions. And the second obstacle we identified was financing, because we're all used to paying our utility bills on a monthly basis. But when it comes to solar, you have to do that upfront investment. So we were one of the first in Europe also to provide a rental solution for solar as well.
Solar is a technology that has been around for quite some time. Obviously, the cost efficiency has gotten better over time, but we don't have enough of it. Enough isn't deployed. Why is that?
I think, again, it's the scalability problem we face right now. If you look to the market, it's extremely fragmented. A lot of players entering the field, but no really big players that are able to really make it scale. And I think that's also where technology and software becomes really important. Because if you look to the current process of having solar on your roof, you need to call your installer within your town or village, for example. They will stand in your backyard and do some calculations and then put it in Excel and generate a PDF quote, so to say. And only like after 2 weeks you get your first initial quote sometimes. And then you have to wait weeks before it's installed. So we have automated everything. So as soon as you fill out your address on the website, based on all the data available, we already present you a quote within 60 seconds. And then based on that, we can validate it with one of our agents. And after that, you're set to plan the installation yourself.
Is the process today just very intimidating and frustrating and kind of multifaceted for a consumer, such that they're almost too daunted to undertake putting solar on the roof?
Yeah, I think so. That's also what we notice a lot in the market. If you start your orientation process about solar, you just want to know, okay, how much will it cost and what will the savings be, right? But then you're confronted with installers that first want to do all these calculations and go to your house and see what's possible, and they confront you with a lot of technicalities. And then finally, maybe after 2 weeks, then you get the first proposal and you see what the savings will be on your address, for example. And the fact that we can already do that automatically within 60 seconds, I think that really makes it very accessible to start the process with.
So where does Soly operate today, and where do you have ambitions of expanding to?
Yeah, so originally founded in the Netherlands, currently active in 6 countries, including South Africa. And we're also keeping a small eye on the US for any potential.
And when you think about the core value proposition to a customer in the Netherlands, what is the core of why Soly is so compelling?
I think it's because of the entire ecosystem. We're only talking about solar, but it also entails having a battery, EV charger. We even provide our own dynamic energy contract in the Netherlands already.
You're able to do all of that?
Exactly. So people just switch from their traditional utility entirely to a Soly solution and start to make money and save money like from day one.
Is part of that the value proposition to the customer is that you can look at their energy needs from a renewable perspective holistically. So it's solar, it's batteries, it's EV charging, and you can actually help them intuit that as to why it makes financial sense for them.
Exactly, and it can also be the case that the customer first starts to have solar only, right? But with every offering we make, we also include the Soly Brain, which is our home energy management system. Because of that, we get like a real-time energy profile of that user. And based on that, we can automatically start to generate offers, for example, for having an EV charger or a battery. And so making it very clear to the customer that if he decides to take this step as well, what his exact savings will be as a result of it.
And what are some of those savings?
Well, if you look, for example, to something that's really new and really growing a lot in Europe, is a time of use tariff contract, based on which you pay an hourly rate for your utility bill. In the Netherlands, you already save up to 56% on your traditional utility bill.
And most customers are just not aware of that, but you're able to, with your platform, provide those insights.
Exactly.
So tell me about your technology. What makes it so proprietary and unique?
A lot of the discussions are still focused on phase one of the energy transition, which is all about installing assets. But the second phase in the energy transition will be about managing these assets, because a big con of renewable energy is that it's quite unpredictable. But by having the Soly brain in someone's system, we can manage the assets and, for example, give the flexibility of all our battery assets we have in the field back to grid operators. So if there is an unexpected peak of energy, they can just use our batteries to save that energy and prevent big traffic jams on the grid. And with that, create extra revenue streams to the end user. And with that, create extra space on the energy grid for additional renewables.
Are you basically the operating system of the grid itself?
Yeah, exactly. So we are now actively connecting all the dots. And then in essence, you're creating a new kind of energy internet, so to say. And you really have to make sure that all these assets are being managed and therefore provide flexibility to grid operators. And in essence, you create these new kind of virtual power plants that Soly is the orchestrator of.
Is the grid ready for that kind of a solution now?
Because a lot of new renewables are being added to the grid, it becomes more and more unstable. So grid operators are really looking for these kind of solutions because it's in the end the better solution compared to investing billions and billions of euros and dollars in making the grid more sustainable.
So tell me about your expansion plans. Obviously you raised this really exciting round. What's next for you?
So we just entered the Italian market as well. We see big tractions in the new countries we entered. And for this year we plan to add 3 more countries in Europe, one of which is also Spain. So we'll focus on that and hope to be active in 10 countries this year. After which, of course, we keep on rolling that game and indeed maybe even look to the US market as well.
What's the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur in the renewable energy space?
Keeping focus, I think, because there's so much going on, so many trends. And I think you cannot jump on every opportunity you have presented on your table. So having focus and be really good at that part, I think that is the main challenge at the moment.